so this is section 6.3, part 1. We're going to be learning about volume of pyramids and cones. So here are a few formulas you're going to have to write down on your notes outline. So you want to pause your video and write these down. All right, so number 1, find the volume of each figure. Use 3.14 for pi. So this would be an example of where you have a picture, but you don't have a label of what shape this is. So you would have to determine what shape this is to know what formula to use with it. So if you look at the base of it, the base is a triangle. So this is a triangular pyramid. So would pi have anything to do with a triangular pyramid? No. So for capital B, you need to take 1/2 base times the height. So when we say the base of the triangle, the triangular pyramid, we're talking about that triangle right there. So capital B equals 1/2, and then my base times my height would be, my two numbers would be 4 times 9. So 1/2 times 4 times 9 is 18. And then for the volume, we need to take 1/3. Every time it's going to be 1/3. That's part of the formula. 1/3 times capital B, which is 18, times the height, which is the only number I haven't used, which is 9. So 1/3 times 18 times 9.
How'd you get 18?
54. And then it would be centimeters, and what do we have to label it? Cube, because volume is 3 dimensions. We get 18 from 1/2 times the base times the height. So 9 times 4 times half is 18.
Yeah, because 9 times 4 is 36.
Yes, and half of that's 18. Okay, number 2. What kind of shape is this? This is a cone, so we would use pi in this shape. So capital B equals pi times r squared. So in that picture, which number is r? 2. So pi times 2 squared. So that would be 4 times 3.14.
Okay.
4 times 3.14. 12.56. And then for the volume, again, same process. 1/3 times capital B, which is 12.56, times the height, which is 6. And what do you get?
75.
Take that times 1/3.
25.12.
Yeah, 25.12. And then the label would be inches cubed. Okay, number 3.
Rectangular pyramid.
So this one is a rectangular pyramid. The base of it is a square. So for capital B, I'm taking length times width. So we're talking about this is the base. So what two numbers would I use?
9, 7.
9 times 7. And 9 times 7 equals 63. So then for my volume, I would take 1/3 times 63 times the height. And what's the height?
8.
8, the number I haven't used yet. So 1/3 times 63 times 8.
158.
So 168 feet cubed. Okay, number 4 is a what? It's a cone. So capital B would equal pi times what squared? What's the radius? 7. So pi times 7 squared. So 3.14 times what? What's 7 squared? 49. .14 times 49. Okay. So then the volume is 1/3 times 153.86 times the height,
8.
which is 8. So 1/3 times 153.86 times 8 is what? 410.29. Okay, millimeters cubed.
Don't you have to do a little line?
Yeah, you can. Okay, so I would like you to pause your video and do number 5. And then I would like you to pause your video again and do number 6.
What shape is that?
All right, so for number 5, this is a triangular pyramid. So capital B would equal 1/2 4 times 7. So 4 times 7 is 28, and half of that would be 14. So then for the volume, I would take 1/3 times 14 times my height, which is 6. So my final answer would be 28 centimeters cubed for the volume. Okay, number 6 is a cone. So capital B would equal pi times the radius squared. Which one is the radius? 3. So pi times 3 squared. So capital B equals 3.14 times what? 9. 3 squared is 9. So 3.14 times 9.
28.26.
Okay. And then the volume would be 1/3 times 28.26 times the height, which is 10. Yes, so it would be 94.2 inches cubed. Okay, so if you look at the next problem, we have a chart, and it is a cone with a radius of 3 and a height of 10. So look at those numbers. Do they look familiar? That's the one we just did. So we just did a radius of 3 and a height of 10. So if we were to find the original dimensions and find the volume of that, capital B equaled, I think, 28.26. And then the volume equaled 94.2. So there's no point in doing that again since we just used those dimensions. Now let's calculate if we doubled the height. So what would our new height be? 20. Okay, so if all we did is double the height, would capital B change?
Yes.
No, because capital B deals with radius. So capital B is still going to equal 28.26. So to get my volume, I'm going to have to take 1/3 times 28.26 times my new height, which is 20, to get my new volume.
188.4.
188.4?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so now what if I double the radius? What's my new radius? 6. So I am going to have to calculate capital B again. So pi times 6 squared. What would that equal?
13.04.
So 36 times 3.14. What is it?
113.04.
Okay. So then for the volume, I would take 1/3 times 113.04 times my height, the original height, which is 10.
676.8.
Okay. So take a look at these numbers and try to figure out what do the volumes have to do with each other.
Oh, 2 times each one was.
Okay, so the doubling the height is 2 times the original volume. So doubling the height doubled the volume. And then what did doubling the radius do?
Double.
So what is double?
4.
4 times, quadrupled, right? So doubling the radius quadrupled the volume.
So we just multiply 2 every time.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at tripling. So a cone has a radius of 3 and a height of 4. What are the original dimensions? If something has a radius of 3, what's the area of the base? We've calculated this several times. 28.26. Okay, so then I need to find the volume. So I take 1/3 times 28 times 28.26 times the height, which is 4. 37.16. Okay. All right, so now if 68. Not 16, okay. So now if I triple the height, what's my new height? 12. So is capital B gonna change? No. Capital B is still 28.26. So my volume would be 1/3 times 28.26 times my new height of 12. And what does that equal?
113.04.
Okay. So now let's look at tripling the radius. What's the new radius? 9. So capital B would equal pi times 9 squared. What is 9 squared? So 81 times 3.14. $254.34. Anybody else get that? So then for the volume, 1/3 times 254.34 times my original height, which was 4. I got 339.12.
I got 12.
Okay. All right, so now see what those have to do with each other. What do the volumes have to do with each other?
Triple each other.
So is 113.04 triple 37.68? How would you figure that out?
Divided that by that.
Divide 113.04 by 37.68, and it is 3 times.
Yes.
So this is tripled.
And then the other one's times 9.
This one is times 9. Okay. So if you had to make a prediction, what if you took the height times 4? What do you think is going to happen to the volume?
What?
If we made a prediction and we took the height times 4, well, what do you think the volume would be?
Times 4 now.
Quadrupled, it'd be times 4. And then what do you think if we did the radius times 4? It'd be times 16 because it has to be like 4 times 4. Notice how this is doubling every time. So this is 3 times 3 is 9. When we did this one right here, this was doubled, and then 2 times 2 is 4. So every time it's just doubling the one before it. Okay. For your assignments, I would like you to label this page 278 number 1 because you will have another page 278 assignment tomorrow.